So first of all, let us talk about Iceman, okay, and everything that people are discussing about. First of all, let's talk about this Nicki Minaj name drop that has caused quite the commotion. So in one of his song, Drake seemingly mentions not only Nicki Minaj but Advocate BBL, and this is what the line says. It says he's so drunk, he just played some Nicki and then some Cardi. I'm sorry. And of course, the Babs are not here for that because you do know how Nicki feels about being bunched together with that girl. So people feel like, well, Drake was very disrespectful for mentioning Nicki Minaj together with Advocate BBL. So on the other hand, we have Body Gang celebrating because they love it when Nicki is bunched together with their with their girl. Meanwhile, the Babs don't want any association whatsoever when it comes to those two. Now, personally, to be honest, when I first heard the song, I thought he said, he's so drunk, he just played some Nicki and then some Carti, as in Playboy Carti. That's what I thought, okay? And then when other people also were saying, in fact, Playboy Carti actually does have a song that's called I'm Sorry, I was like, okay, yeah, so I was right. He was probably referencing Carti and not Advocate BBL. But it appears people are still convinced that no, it wasn't Carti because according to them, he is not cool with Playboy Carti at this point. So there is no way that he would be name dropping Playboy Carti. So let me know in the comment section before we get right into the dissection of that bar. Do you think that it was Carti or Cardi? Now it appears that a lot of music platforms are wording it as Cardi, but we know those can be wrong as well. It has been proven over and over again that even those can get it wrong sometimes. Now, that being said, going with the logic that, he said and some Advovo BBL, I don't see the reason why Advocate BBL fans should actually be celebrating because either way, to me, it doesn't seem like it's him bigging up Advovo. I mean, the man said, he is so drunk, he just played some Nicki and then some Cardi, and then he goes on to say, I'm sorry. What is he apologizing for? Clearly, if that's the case, he's apologizing for the DJ playing some Cardi. So, how is that a compliment for them to be celebrating? If anything, it does feel like he is saying that Nicki Minaj's music has to be held with high regards, and it wouldn't make sense to play some Cardi after you have just played some Nicki. So. Either way, I don't see how this is a diss to Nicki Minaj. Now, do I think that she probably will be annoyed that that girl was put in the same sentence with her? Yeah, maybe she will not like that. But do I think that she will look at it as Drake dissing her? I don't think so. If indeed he, however, referenced Cardi as an advert for BBL, it wouldn't be far fetched that he probably told Nicki Minaj that there is a line on my album where I mention your name and I also mentioned that girl, and probably Nicki told him like, listen, I don't care about that. Now that being said, if it does, however, come out and say that, oh, I meant Carti, of course I would buy it. But I also would think that this man knew that people were going to interpret it like that, and this conversation is exactly what he was looking for. Because good or bad, the people are talking. So I mean, seeing how Drake can be slimy, I really wouldn't put it past him to make it sound like he's saying Carti only for him to say no, I was saying Carti. Meanwhile, the conversation is already going on on the internet. Let me know in the comment section what you think about that entire ordeal. And by the way, Nicki is also not featured on any of those songs. I also saw some people trying to say that he was out there dissing Young Money and Nicki Minaj because he said F the big three. And I'm like, no, he was referencing J. Cole and Kendrick because I mean that's the entire thing that started this whole Kendrick versus him thing. It's the whole big three and stuff like that. So it wasn't Young Money. Stop trying to make it seem like it was him dissing Wayne or Nicki Minaj. It's not that. I don't know why people are trying to do that. But that being said, let's also talk about Lace Front. It seems like he collected a couple of them. He said, damn, y'all was really island hopping back then. Now your names got redacted. Now a ninja got a fixed check. Okay? And this is obviously in reference of Lace Run being allegedly on those files, on the island files, and how all of a sudden the media is now fact checking. But when it was him being called the PDF, the likes of Charlamagne and Joe Budden never needed to fact check anything. They were dancing to the song, they were propelling those rumors about him without fact checking. But now that Lace Front is involved in the files, all of a sudden Charlamagne is turning into an investigative journalist. All of a sudden Joe Budden is working at the police he's gone legal all of a sudden. But when it pertains to other people, they don't wait to fact check anything. So yeah, that was a good one in my own opinion. And then another one that Lace Front collected. Drake said, I will take the 500K, not the dinner. I can't never lend ish from none of y'all, okay? Obviously, you know that entire debate of, or would you rather have dinner with Jay-Z or take this amount of money? And the man is saying, it doesn't even have to be a million, okay? Give me 500K and I will take it because there is nothing to learn from such a sellout, lace front, brother billionaire, title swindler. Okay, I don't know. But let me know in the comment section, you guys, what you think about that. I think there is also another part where Jay Z collected when he was talking about the greats. He said something about knowing that the ninjas are moving in a weird way and saying that all the greats are probably mad. I will see if I can find the screenshot and I will insert it. But yeah, let me know in the comment section what do you think about the people that are collecting. He also addressed DJ Khaled, but that's an uninteresting beef. He also ended up addressing Asap Rocky and Rihanna. And he was basically saying that even his own baby mama didn't even post his single. He said, "Your baby mama ain't even post your single. Damn, where she at? Yeah, where she at?" And he also said, "We are sharing women I already effed at the height of my success." And people feel like, well, that is meant for Asap Rocky. And of course, that is in reference of Rihanna. So let me know in the comment section what you think about that entire thing. Overall, I would say it's a lot of music. It's a lot of music to go through because he ended up releasing, as we all know, 3 albums in one night. And to go through all of that and give like a solid conclusion on how the music is within less than a day, I don't think that's practical. So I will listen a little bit more, and yeah, I will probably give you my full review in as far as what the albums are like and which ones are my favorite after that, after like a day or so, because it's so much music at once. Now, still speaking about him going ahead and releasing 3 albums, there has been a lot of discourse as to why he did that, because some people feel like this is him just basically trying to get away from his contract. Now, nobody truly knows the intricate details of his contract with UMG, if it's purely album based or if it was also, time based. Now, if it is album based, maybe he did this so that he can easily get off the hook with them and, just be done with them, given how they moved during the Kendrick Lamar and, his situation. So let me know in the comment section what you think about that. Do you think that this was strategically done to make sure that he's done with UMG or what? Speaking of which, I already saw some people saying that, well, it doesn't seem like it's high effort albums. And so I'm like, okay, if it is not high effort albums, was this calculative? Did he do that intentionally so that, he reserves some of the good music for when he becomes a free agent? And could that be the reason why he didn't probably get the features with, the other people that people were expecting, the Waynes, the Nickies, and stuff like that? Could it be that he's reserving that for when he becomes a free agent instead of actually rewarding the people that are trying to end them with good music and then living? Could that be the situation? Let me know in the comment section what you think about all these 3 albums. And do you have a favorite as yet? And were you disappointed to not see Nicki Minaj on those albums? Now let's move on to Lizzie. During the time when Nicki Minaj was out there doing her thing, her political stuff and things like that, Lizzie, unprovoked, decided to comment on Nicki Minaj's political choices and insinuated that Nicki Minaj is basically doing that for financial benefits. And I'm like, so other people are allowed to choose the Democratic Party as their own choices, but when somebody else does it, you have to insinuate that she's getting paid to do that, which I felt like that was very out of line, especially for another celebrity to be weighing in on another person's political choices unprovoked. Mind you, she did that herself. Nicki hadn't even looked her way at once. The last time she opened her mouth to talk about Nicki Minaj is the time that she was praising her for when they met. I think it was at the Met Gala or something like that, and she was gushing over her aura and her beauty. And the next time you're now opening your mouth, you're literally insinuating that this woman was paid for, that her opinion or her choices are paid for. I don't know if she realizes how insulting it is for a successful woman like Nicki Minaj, for you to come on here and insinuate that such a successful woman is doing something for financial gain. And so when Nikki was whacking everybody, of course, Lizzo caught some strays. That was months ago, mind you. And Lizzo never responded to that at that moment in time. But after she came online and she was crying about how a label is not funding promo for her album, is not doing anything for her album, and how social media is not working to her advantage, she then decided to finally address the Nicki Minaj comments, okay? And mind you, this happened more than a month ago. She didn't say anything, only for her to conveniently now try to act like she's reacting or responding to that now that she's about to drop an album. At this point, it has to be shamelessness or desperation. Because it is clear as daylight that literally you're doing this to get some sympathy and some engagement just before your album. You poke at someone, they respond to you. You conveniently wait until you're about to drop an album to respond to something that they said like more than a month ago. I'm disgusted, to be honest. I'm disgusted because I'm beginning to realize that these girls will do anything to sell their work. They will do anything at any cost. But then why am I shocked? Is she not signed to Pacific as well? So now that you're flopping, you've decided to all of a sudden activate your sympathy package. Like, it has to be exhausting being Nicki Minaj at this point, because imagine every flop person, when they want some traction, who do they go to? Who do they target? Nicki Minaj. I hope your album is gonna do all that. I hope it's gonna be worth it, because imagine doing all these dirty antics. Because at the end of the day, you know what you're doing, and you stay with that. Even when no one is watching, you know what you're doing. You know that you're trying to bait someone into a reaction for you to only play the sympathy games. Deep down, you know what you're doing. And if your album fails to sell, if you don't benefit anything from this nonsense, I hope it all was worth it, Lizzie. Really. At this point, it's like it's so clear. Initially, you come crying, oh, my label this, my label that. The next thing, Nicki Minaj, Nicki Minaj, Nicki Minaj. Now, I'm beginning to believe that those comments that people be responding to on their lives, somebody else is doing that from their label, from their team. They're creating ghost accounts to type something about Nicki Minaj so that they can address it. But let me insert what Lizzie had to say, and then I'll catch you guys after that.
Other people's opinions of me are not my business. So I don't really know what exactly was said about me, but I do know that there were some things said about me from her on the internet. I am choosing not to know about that. I don't want to know. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, like, it's not gonna make a difference. It's not gonna make a difference to my everyday life. Whether someone likes me or not, or whether they say something mean about me or not. I just have to keep it pushing. Okay, well, I love you guys. I'm probably gonna go live more often. I always say that and then I don't, but I'm dead ass going to, because this was felt good to get some things off my chest. Your unproblematic fave, Miss Bitch, Lizzo, signing off. Bye. My opinion of her does not matter, but what I will tell you is you're about to see an influx of people who see that it is more profitable and more beneficial to join that side. You're going to see it. It already started, and it's going to continue. This is his first year. This is Trump's first year as president. We got 3 more years of people who are going to surprise you. And it's going to hurt your feelings, and it's going to disappoint you. And you have to know that, like, there's money behind everything. There are privileges behind every move people in these positions make. And I'm not surprised.
Well, there you heard that, you guys. There you heard that. Now, moving on to the next thing that we're going to be talking about, Doechii. It appears Arya Star might actually be going really mainstream after all. Now, you guys know that she recently announced album. It appears this Rihanna thing might actually help her with her rollout. Shortly after she announced that the album was going to be coming on August 14th of this year. And guess who decided to respond to that? It is none other than the Swamp Princess, Doechii. And she said, on my birthday too. And then Arya responded and said, Doechii the Don. And of course, people are speculating that this might mean that there is a Doechii collaboration on, that album. Now, of course, the question that is now on a lot of people's minds is whether Tyler is going to make it in Hollywood, in mainstream, saying that almost every other, artist seems to be rallying behind Arya. Now, I will say one thing about Hollywood and one thing about the entertainment industry. It almost feels like a cult. And that's the one thing I don't like about them, because it appears there are people that they deem untouchable. And if you do dare go against them in any way, those people will forever be protected. It's almost like the other people are incentivized for acting like, they are protecting the other people that are popular. It's almost like high school. When you go against the popular girl, everyone is going against you, even when you didn't directly do anything to them. And that part I don't like. Now, do I think that, the younger girls should disrespect the older people? Absolutely not. But there always seems to be like a double standard. When Tyler does it to Rihanna, when somebody does it to Beyonce, of course, it's unacceptable. Everybody has to turn on them. But when it's being done to other people that the music industry deems unlikable, of course, they will rally behind the new girl. The same people that looking at Tyler sideways for what happened with Rihanna are the same people that were applauding Advocate BBO for throwing a shoe at Nicki Minaj over a fake tweet. You see? And that part, honestly, I don't appreciate. I don't like about Hollywood. But then again, time will tell. So thank you very much, you guys, for watching. And thank you very much for making it this far. If you have not already, what are you waiting for? Smash that subscribe button and do turn on the notification bell so that you will be notified each and every time that I post. Until my next one, see you.